Hello everyone, my name is Gabe Kusha, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about blockchain technology. So today for blockchain technology, what I'm going to focus on is what is it, how and why it was formed, some current uses of it, and then also some potential uses for it for the future. So first off, what is blockchain? Blockchain is a digital and decentralized ledger that records all transactions. Obviously, by digital, we mean that there are no physical paper transactions that take place. And by the decentralized aspect, we focus on how the transactions do not take place on one single computer. Rather, aspects take place on different computers and servers called nodes to later come together in full form to form the entire transaction. This technology focuses on the creation and transferring of digital assets, and another name for blockchain technology is distributed ledger technology, or DLT. So, in order to better understand blockchain technology, we have to look further into the components that make up the technology itself. There are essentially three concepts that have to be explored in order to fully understand the process of blockchain technology. The first of these concepts are the blocks themselves. Blocks are essentially what makes up the digital transaction itself. Not only do the blocks contain what's actually being transferred in the transaction, but it also contains two specific and randomly generated numbers called a nonce and a hash. And the nonce is a 32-bit number that is used to create the hash, which is a 256-bit number that needs to begin with many zeros and is extremely small. Once the block is created, it cannot be altered by any one individual, making it a lot safer method of creating, transferring, and storing data or assets. The second concept associated with blockchain is that of miners. Miners are those who create and verify all of the information being entered into the blockchain. Creating and managing blockchain technology can be very difficult due to the computing power required to create individual blocks. And that's because the nonce and the hash are 32 and 256-bit numbers, respectively. And that means that there's 4 billion possible nonce hash combinations that need to be explored before a miner can verify and add a block into a chain. That being said, this is a cost that's a necessity because it ensures the validity of the data and the transactions that follow. And then finally, the third concept that needs to be explored when looking into blockchain is the concept of nodes. And nodes are what allow blockchain technology to be decentralized. Because of nodes, no one server or computer can be the owner of a blockchain. And that is really nice because it just makes sure that not one person has full power. And then nodes can be a variety of things. Basically, a node is an electronic device that maintains and copies the blockchain and keeps the networks functioning. One thing I thought that was really interesting was how one article described blockchain technology as scalability of trust via technology. And then also here in the bottom right corner, you can see this picture that kind of just explains how blockchain technology works. I went over it, but it's harder to hear. It's easier to just look at. But basically, just someone creates the transaction, and then that block goes through all these different nodes and stuff, and then the miners verify it. And once it's verified, it can actually be put into the block. Also, something that's pretty cool about this is if you need to go and change something in the blockchain, you actually have to change the entire blockchain. So that makes it pretty much impossible to change data once it's created, which is really nice because that means nobody's altering with the data. So the next thing that I'll discuss is how and why blockchain was created. And the how blockchain was created question is a little more difficult to answer. Because in short, not one person came up with the entire idea by themselves. So here, as you see on the slide, I have a list of some people who were responsible for the creation of the idea of blockchain. So the first duo to come up with the idea of blockchain technology was Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta. When in 1991 they came up with the concept of a cryptographically secured chain of blocks. Um, and then next in 1998, a computer scientist named Nick Szabo came up with the idea of a cryptocurrency named BitO'Honey, which is no longer in use. But we'll go more in depth on what cryptocurrencies are later. But it's one of the big ways that blockchain technology is used now. And then in 2000, Stefan Konst published a theory on cryptographic secured chains. And then that being said, not any or nobody had come up though with an actual use of blockchain until 2008. A man under a fake name of Satoshi Nakamoto released his ideas about blockchain technology and how it could be used in the real world when he published his papers called the White Papers. And he would actually go on to launch Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency we will discuss later, but it's still the biggest form of blockchain technology that's in use today. And so then, as far as why blockchain technology was created, we sort of discussed this indirectly earlier, but the biggest positive blockchain technology is the validity of the data that's being exchanged. Because of the difficulty to change blockchain once the data is created, it's very hard for any one user to change the data, and this allows transactions to be processed quicker or like much quicker because the two parties conducting businesses don't have to take weeks verifying the information within the transaction. This can be an issue at times when banks attempt to make international transactions. And at times, these transactions can be held up because one party needs to verify the other's information. Another reason why blockchain is so important is because it limits the control of the platform from one person. This is very important just because it makes sure that any bias is not in the transaction. So next, we'll focus on how blockchain technology is currently used today. And so currently, blockchain technology is used mostly with cryptocurrencies. So a cryptocurrency is an internet-based medium of exchange which uses cryptographical functions to conduct financial transactions. Basically, a cryptocurrency is using blockchain technology because of how valid the data is and how easily it can be transferred. The two biggest cryptocurrencies now are Bitcoin and Ethereum. As I said before, Bitcoin was launched by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009, and it's been very valuable, and probably it's been the most valuable form of cryptocurrency for many years now. I looked earlier, and one Bitcoin today was worth over $8,000. But yeah, it's just crazy how much money it can be worth. Ethereum is another form of cryptocurrency. It was created by Vitalik Buterin in 2015. The one big difference with Ethereum is that it also implements what they call smart contracts, which can be used to create digital loans and contracts as well as the asset itself. Cryptocurrencies do have their issues, though. The market for cryptocurrencies is extremely volatile, and the values can fluctuate quite significantly. So this makes the purchase of cryptocurrencies a lot more riskier than that of stock. Finally, I'll go over some various ways that blockchain technology could potentially be used in the future. One such area is with medical records. Last week, Alex focused on EHR, EMR, and PMRs, which I believe blockchain technology could be utilized with. I think it'd be a really good fit because all medical data would be considered valid and couldn't be changed. Also, because the technology is decentralized, it would be easily accessible to anybody at any time. Another place I believe blockchain technology could be utilized is in legal contracts. Much like that of health records, legal contracts should be set in stone once they're created and approved. With blockchain technology, we can ensure that the saved version of the contract is valid. Blockchain could also play a huge role in online voting. Imagine how much quicker it would be to tally all the votes in major elections, such as the presidency, if a decentralized system was used to cast the votes. Also, elections could be virtually free from error if blockchain technology was implemented. And then finally, video gaming has become a massive platform for media personalities and streamers these days. One major aspect of video gaming is microtransactions and virtual currencies. If blockchain technology was implemented in video gaming, companies could rest assured that nobody is selling fake currencies or entering false information. Um, but yeah, overall, blockchain technology has a lot of potential. It's going to be hard to see where it'll end up. I mean, it took nearly 18 years to go from an idea to a reality with Bitcoin. So who knows how long it'll take to be widely used, if it ever even is. Then finally, here are just a few questions that I'll leave you all with. Is the anonymity of blockchain pioneer and Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto a cause for concern? Do you believe that the use of blockchain technology will continue to increase to more areas? And then finally, is the volatility in products like Bitcoin and Ethereum something that people should feel safe in investing in these currencies? And then here's just a list of my sources for this. Thank you very much.